months ago, this painting by Mark Rothko sold at auction at approximately $100 million. It's called Number 15, two greens and a red stripe. It was painted in 1964. And in May 2026, it sold at Christie's at $98.4 million. I'm sure if you are standing in front of a Rothko at a museum for some time, sooner or later you'll hear someone saying, "My 2-year-old can paint that." And honestly, I don't think we should get angry about that, because when a person is looking at a Rothko and thinking it's just a couple of blocks of color, why is it worth millions of dollars? I think it's a pretty reasonable question. So I don't want to tell you if you think so. I don't want to tell you that you just don't understand art, or you need an art degree to have an opinion. Let's talk why we value realistic art so much and why we sometimes think that abstract art is less serious. So how did we get here? I think that there are 3 reasons. The first reason: from an early age, we learn that good drawing means accurate drawing. Let's imagine the following. Your teacher at school asks you to draw a tree, and you draw something like this. What would your teacher tell you? Probably something like, this is a tree, but let's try to make it look like a real tree. And now you learn how to draw the trunk, the branches, the leaves, and little by little you come to the conclusion that a good drawing means something that looks like the thing we draw, and we develop the simple idea: more realistic, more difficult, better. And there is some logic to this, but the problem is that we start using the same scale to judge different kinds of art. That is the problem. So, that was the first reason. And the second reason is that realism makes skill easy to see. When we see an incredibly realistic portrait, it's quite easy to understand what the artist wanted to achieve. We can look at it and think, wow, it actually looks like her. We don't need much context. The skill is right there in front of us. Abstract art is different. You might look at a Rothko and think, okay, 2 rectangles. What exactly am I supposed to admire? But there can be a huge amount of thought behind those rectangles. Color, scale, proportion, edges, balance, space, and the experience of standing in front of the painting. The difficulty is that things don't always look like technical skills. So, realism gives us very convenient thing: visible proof of skill. Reason number 3. Reason number 3. We inherited the idea that art should represent something. For the most part of human history, especially after the Renaissance, art was meant to represent something, to show something to us. For example, this is a saint. This is a ruler. This is a landscape. This is a still life. There was a need to show things to people. Art could show us what someone looked like. Art could show us a place. And artists became very good at it. And we inherited the idea that artist is someone who can represent things and people. But then abstract art came and said, well, I don't actually want to represent something. I don't want to show you a saint. I want you to experience something, to feel something. And I think this is where the tension begins. So what if we question that idea? What if we stop asking how accurately does the artist represent the reality and start asking what is this artist trying to make me feel, see, experience? I think this is a very useful question for the viewer because some ideas are very old and we don't necessarily want to keep them. Let me give you an example. Earlier, the society thought that the place of the woman was the kitchen, the children, and the church. But we don't believe that now. So why should we assume that the visual art has to represent the real world? Why can't we let this idea go? I'm not saying that realism is bad, but it is a choice. And returning to my example, so if a woman freely chooses her world to be devoted to the church, the children, and the kitchen, she is free to do that. No one should stand in her way. A person can do anything they want if they are not harming others or breaking the law. And the same should be about arts. The problem begins when we turn a choice into a rule. Realism is a wonderful way of making art, but it shouldn't be the rule. So, we don't have to love every kind of art, but we should give every kind of art a chance. So, please tell me in the comments, what do you think? We do not judge here. Is abstract art as valuable as realistic art or not? Just share your honest opinion in the comments. I really want to know. And if you ever wanted to start drawing yourself, but you had no idea where to begin, I have a video for you. It will show you a very simple and easy way to start drawing, and it will persuade you that you don't need to be talented to draw. So watch this video next.